you want to hire your first virtual assistant, you have been hearing it from your colleagues, from your peers, from other business owners that hiring a virtual assistant has scaled their business, has helped them hire employees at a much lower cost. You want to save costs, you want to grow your team, you want to scale your business. Of course, virtual assistants help a lot. A lot of companies, a lot of startups, a lot of Fortune 500 companies have grown, scaled their operations because they've hired virtual assistants in the initial days because of budget constraints. And at the end of the day, you all know that delegation is the key when you want to grow your business. If you can't delegate your work, if you can't delegate to employees, how will you concentrate on growing your business? So at the end of the day, you need to hire an employee. And if you don't have the budget to hire an employee, you go for a virtual assistant agency that can help you hire a virtual assistant. I'm going to answer like 5 frequently asked questions when it comes to hiring a virtual assistant. I get these questions a lot. I just feel that a lot of people who I don't speak to also have these questions. And that's why I wanted to create this video to kind of go through these questions, give you some solutions, give you some answers about what your thought processes about hiring a virtual assistant. What are your concerns or constraints when it comes to hiring a virtual assistant? And then maybe your mind will open up, and maybe if it is the right match for you, if it's the right strategy for you, you could consider it. So here are 5 questions. The number one question: what task can I delegate to a virtual assistant? So this is a very common question. A lot of entrepreneurs, they want to hire an employee, they want to hire a virtual assistant, but they don't really know what a virtual assistant can do and what a normal employee can do, or what's the difference. I would say that any role or any task that can be done remotely from a different location than yourself, that can be given to a virtual assistant. If your employee is doing a task, even if they are in the office, but they are doing tasks that can be easily done virtually, then you can go ahead and hire a virtual assistant for that job. Some of the basic tasks that I could relate is accountants, bookkeepers, digital marketing, social media, administrative assistants, customer support. There is sales associates, lead generators, anything that can be done remotely. Why don't you just give it to a virtual assistant? Now, second question that I get a lot is, how do I hire this virtual assistant? How do I find this virtual assistant? How do I know if I have the right place where I can look for a virtual assistant, or if I am coming across the right people? Well, that's a very important question, and a lot of my clients go through like multiple virtual assistant agencies. Some of them have even tried hiring themselves, and then with not a lot of success, they come to us with questions and with concerns. So I would say that always go through an agency. Never hire directly, because especially when you're hiring overseas, don't hire directly. Hire through an agency, because agency will vet them properly. They will do background checks. They will also pre-screen them before they come to you. So they will go ahead and interview them, go through their resumes, find the right match. They're not going to give you somebody who they feel is just can do the job. They will vet, go through the whole process of going through multiple rounds of interviews. At least that's what we do. We go over multiple rounds of interviews with these hundreds and hundreds of applications that we get for a role, and on the basis of that, we select the right candidates, the best candidates, and that is what we send to our clients. And the clients get a chance to interview them as well. So it's very important that you interview those employees that are going to be working with you, the virtual assistant that is going to be working with you, because at the end of the day, you are the one who's going to be working on a day-to-day basis. There has to be a culture match, there has to be a vibe match, there is a lot of other things that come in when you hire a virtual assistant. It doesn't have to be just skill set and experience. Now, because we are working on that part of interviews, the other question is, what should I ask these virtual assistants when we are interviewing them? So a lot of my clients like to know that, okay, I'm ready to interview them. You vetted them, you screened them. Let me interview them. And now that you're going to schedule these interviews, what am I supposed to ask them? Very good question. Treat it as a normal interview that you would interview an employee. Ask them questions about their skill set, ask them questions about their experience, previous roles, go through their resume and ask them questions about each and every company they've worked for in the past. Assess their communication skills, assess their confidence while they are speaking with you, and have a conversation. At the end of the day, you're going to be working with this person on a day-to-day basis. So have a general conversation when you're doing the interview. That's what will help you know how much this person will gel with you, or maybe at the end of the day fit in the culture of your company, of your workspace. So it's very important that you Of course, do your homework with your question, but at the same time, try to have a conversation with the virtual assistant or the multiple rounds of interviews that you go through. Try to have a conversation with each one of them to find a good match and somebody who can match the vibe that you have, because it's very important that you share the vibe when you work with an employee, because at the end of the day you want to have like some smiling faces in your at your workspace. When you're having a call with them, you want them to smile, you want them to, you're going to be having Zoom calls with them, they're going to be facing your clients. It's important that they are all, happy go lucky maybe, or somebody who are enthusiastic about their job. Check that. What are common mistakes that a lot of clients do when they hire a virtual assistant? So, don't jump into conclusions just because your virtual assistant agency has given you a list of top candidates, or maybe you've just come across a few of them and you feel that this person is the right person for the job. I've gone through their resumes, amazing resume. Let's go ahead and hire this person. Don't make that mistake. Again, have a conversation, but also try to find a balance with respect to their work culture and your work culture. If somebody doesn't communicate well or has heavy accent, that means that you're going to have difficulty in the long run to communicate with this person, and your clients are going to have a difficulty communicating with this person. So these are some mistakes that a lot of my clients make when they jump into like conclusion, or maybe, okay, I just did a 5 minute 10 minute interview round, I want to go with this person. No, again, have conversations. Don't make this mistake of not interviewing or not spending enough time in vetting these virtual assistants that are going to be working with you. Just have to do this once, and if you go get it right, maybe never again. And the final question, once you've started working with this virtual assistant, once you have selected that right virtual assistant you feel is the best for the role, how do you communicate with them? Communication is a very important aspect of a virtual assistant. They are going to be in a different time zone, they are going to be in a different country, a different culture. You have to be able to communicate with them. They have to have very good English speaking skills, of course. But then when you communicate with them, you have to either communicate with them on call, you can communicate with them through Zoom meetings, Teams meetings, Google Meet. There are multiple ways of communicating. I strongly suggest have one call at least a week. I would, if it were to me, I would have one call every day, and that's what I do with my employees, with people who are directly reporting to me. I have one conversation every day with them at least, and that is what I'll suggest you. Call them on WhatsApp. It doesn't have to be through Zoom or to Teams. You can of course schedule meetings. You can of course have team meetings. But if you have a quick question, if they have a quick question, they should be able to connect with you directly on WhatsApp or any other medium wherein you are working on a day-to-day basis. Maybe chat on Teams, on Discord. There are multiple platforms. So just have a continuous conversation so you can share priorities. You can at the same time know what they're working on, while at the same time give them more insights, give them more information on the work that you expect them to do. So that's how you communicate with a virtual assistant. Well, these are 5 ways, and more than 5 ways, 5 questions that I get when a lot of my clients are concerned about hiring a virtual assistant. I would strongly suggest book a call with me, or if not me, just go ahead and book a call with any other virtual assistant agency. I'm sure they should be able to answer these questions positively, just like the way I did. And go ahead and give it a try. It's very important that you try hiring a virtual assistant. I have had clients who hired one person. They started off with one person. Now they have more than 50 people that they've hired through us, just because it went well, and their biases about hiring a virtual assistant just vanished because of one or two successful encounters with virtual assistants. Don't think that anything that can be done by a low employee cannot be done by a virtual assistant. As long as you don't want them in person, anything can be done by a virtual assistant. Thank you.